Right, we're back. I apologize for that. I have no idea whatsoever what just happened again. I've got to go figure that out. Next time we do this, I've never had a problem before, but now I suddenly have got a problem, which was weird. So we'll have a look at that at a later date, because right now that is not something I've got time to be looking at. If you're still come back to stream, because this has been playing up again, so I'll just doing this straight off the webcam, because I have no idea what just went wrong then. That like second time trying, it got to like 4 minutes and then it suddenly died. That was odd. That was very strange indeed. I have no idea what was wrong with that. So we will try again. Because yeah, things don't like me tonight. Put it in there. Submit. We'll try this again. That's annoying. I will have to figure out what the hell is wrong with this, because something's not right at all. Hang on a moment. I will get back to people chats. Let me repost this everywhere because this has gone to shite. Any transfer news have been very quiet for the past 2 weeks. It's because everyone is away. Everyone is away at the moment on holiday, so we are waiting for players to get back. You'll get some players that will get stuff done straight away and then go on the holidays. Then you'll get some players who want to wait and see what they can do when they get back. It all depends on the player. At the minute, this is a bit weird because, like I said, I have no idea what went wrong in that bloody stream then, which is freaking annoying. Really is. So yeah, so players at the minute are away, Callum. So anyone who's actually going to be coming to the club, we're probably not going to find out for a while, just because just because they're away. It's one of those, it's that situation at the minute when players are away. So I didn't even do 10 minutes and it died. That's weird. Yeah, exactly. Sheffield Wednesday fan. It's the same every year. We just got to play things. We got to be smart this year. This year we got to be smart with how we sign. We don't want to sign just anyone. We got to be really, really smart. I don't know. I don't think we have. If we have, we're keeping it very quiet, and that's something Wednesday don't do that often. Turn me brightness down on that. Nah, that's better. I ain't got a shiny head now. Well, I have. Well, yeah, so I don't know. It's a simple thing with that. Wednesday, well, to be fair, we're actually doing very well. If we have signed people, we're keeping it very quiet. Extremely quiet, and that's unheard of for Wednesday. It really is. I am not used to us keeping things like that quiet. We're normally the team that tend to something gets out, something gets let slip. Let's have a look. Team that tends to there we go, making sure that was okay. So yeah, the staff, but then again, I think it's also a Chansiri thing. How many times have we leaked something and something come out and then we've gone to sign that player and they've gone somewhere else, or the agents after too much money, or the clubs turn around and said they want too much money? We're not going to be spending a lot of money this year. I think it's going to be a fair bit of wheeling dealing, and it. Knowing what Bruce is like, he probably got players already lined up, ready to go. He's just waiting for that kind of thing for players to get back and things to get grieved with. Some players like to go on holiday, have a think about it, talk to the family, because at the end of the day, it's not a case of just the player going. If they've got a young family, they've got to uproot the family. Bruce signed 3 players within a day, but this is a different date. He did sign 3 players within a day, but you got to remember, he was watching that team from the outside because he went to spend time with family before he took the job. He knew what was needed. So for all we know, he made that, he comes in on that day and he's already got deals agreed, ready to go. So you don't know. This is the thing. You have no idea what the situation is. Yeah, I think Bullen's letting slip that Westwood and Palmer staying and Lee. I think that's already kind of with it kind of thing. I think we seem to be linked with all 3 signings. It's the right way to go. We don't have much money to spend. We don't know what the budget is this year. At the end of the day, he's not going to have a lot of money to spend. And I don't think Bruce is the kind of manager that likes spending a lot of money, to be honest with you. If he can get a deal, he'd rather get a deal than actually spend a lot of money. So I personally think Bruce, with how he goes, it's going to be interesting to see who he signs. Like, I think Luton today just pulled off a cracking signing. They just signed Callum. Oh, he was on loan at us. Went to Wigan. McManaman. Oh, McMahon. And that's a cracking signing for a team that's just come up. Right player they kind of need. And that's the kind of player that's going to give them a lot of experience. And that's a fantastic signing. But for us personally, we're looking at the other end of the kind of signings this year. So it'll be interesting to see what we do. There's a lot of players out there who, if we turn around and said, you're willing to show what you can do, there's a deal on the table, especially if it's a free transfer. Like, you look at the situation with Lee. Lee's might be a 6 months. Let's see how you are in 6 months and see what happens. The Aarons and Lazar one's an interesting one. That all changes if they get taken over. If Newcastle United get taken over, there's going to be a load of players who will be going out that door because Benitez is going to have money to spend, or whoever comes in is going to have money to spend, and they're not going to want some of these players. And we could have the situation where they turn around and say, look, we're not needing to make funds up for another player kind of thing. So they might let them go out on the cheap. So for us Wednesday fans, let's hope that takeover comes through, because as much as people are saying they don't want Lazar because of his injury record and stuff, he hasn't had a pre-season. He hasn't had a full year of playing football. We got him after him playing a couple of games for the under-23s for Newcastle, came in, played 2 great games, and then got injured. It's too much for his body to start with. If some of these players who we had on loan, if we get a pre-season in them, could be a completely different ball game. Because you saw what Aaron can do. He gives you that base. He gives you that. He gives you that speed we were lacking. The first thing Bruce did was he realised we didn't have any wide men, we didn't have any pace. Boom, goes and get pace. And he still doesn't have pace at the minute. But I think you're going to see that Penny is going to get a big of a push in the side, I reckon. I think Penny's going to get a massive push, because when we played them, when Penny was in the squad for a while, Bruce was highly, highly praising him. And that was the opposition manager. He's not at Wednesday training. He's not at Wednesday, because if you follow his Instagram, he's definitely not at Wednesday training. Trust me, that is not Wednesday training ground. But I kind of did you see the rumor we had about looking at that other Kosovan player, winger? Do you see the one about him being the Kosovan lad who's a young winger? Now, a lot of people said it's just agent talk, so if it is, fair enough. But that could be a good signing in terms of having someone else who Atty knows. And if they play together in the national team and Atty knows him, that could actually help. Why Lazar was in Sheffield? No idea, mate. I have no idea. Could have been, he could have left something. He could have been getting a deal sorted. No idea. At the end of the day, if he's in Sheffield, he's in Sheffield. I know he had been looking at buying a house in Sheffield. I know that for a fact that he was looking at houses with estate agents, him and his wife. Would you like to see Big Mo come since Newcastle released him? I Wembley knows since Bruce knows. I would like him, Glenn. I would like him, but I don't know if one of those ones. Is this one of these players Bruce is willing to take the risk on because he knows him already and he would help? But I think we're going to start by looking at not signing many players over the age of 30. And that's been our problem over the last couple of seasons. We've signed journeymen and players who are just looking for not a laugh paycheck, but we've done deals for players who are not particularly worth what we pay for them, especially in wages. So it'll be interesting, that one. He would be handy in midfield. He'd do something that we're missing. And the problem we do have is that we do have the situation our midfield is ridiculously light. Our positions where we struggle are the wing. We've got no pace at either flank at times. And our midfield is really poor as well. We know our back four is not great. And I still think we're going to be looking at trying to get Hector in. But with what's going on with Chelsea at the minute, you have no idea what's going on. Villa player got released yesterday. Oh, right. I don't know. That's a weird one because you gotta remember if it comes in, if it actually comes in that we go after someone like Diarmi and someone who he knows, you don't know who he might bring in from Villa. Matip wasn't the lack of end product. Matip was a lack of fitness. I definitely take Charlie Austin. I'd take Charlie Austin, definitely. In Championship, he'd be a massive, really good striker. But again, it's taking another risk on a player who's had a bit of an injury. Thing is that the players we keep getting linked with are either really old, and he said he doesn't want to go down that route, or the players who are good ages, but they got little injury problems at times. Like the whole situation with, who was it? I can't remember his name. But take a look at the whole situation you got with Rhodes. So Norwich have pretty much basically said they're out of it. They're not looking at signing him because he's going to be way too much money. Our valuation was way too much for him. Mainly because we were trying to recoup what we paid at least. Bear in mind, if we ask for 7 million, we have to give a portion of that to Middlesbrough. So if you look at next season, you've got Newhugh, Fletcher, Rhodes, and Winnall. You could probably say Fortieri as well. And it could be interesting to see what happens there, because I'm not too sure if Bruce likes Winnall. We think Fez is staying, but you don't know. He has said we might have to sell some players to let some players in. We don't know. This is the situation. Daniel Sturridge and Gary Cahill and Rugby United knows. Jagielka would never come. I'd love to have Sturridge and Cahill, though. Be pretty decent. Probably been asked before, but I've been out. And the news on the news on Aaron's is he's doing a lot of Wednesday related stuff on social media, But like I said earlier, the situation you've got with Aarons and Lazar is I wait until that Newcastle takeover goes through, if it does go through. Because if Newcastle get taken over, they're going to have a lot of players that they're not going to want, and we could get some decent deals for players who, before the takeover, were valued here. After the takeover, are valued here, and they've got money to spend and not having to recoup their losses. If Newcastle get taken over, they're going to have that much of a budget to play with instead of that Ashley keep giving them. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. I'd like to see Aarons. I think he fitted in well. I think he enjoyed his time here for the short time he was here. Aarons, Lazar, players like that, they need a pre-season. They need a pre-season, and they just need to play consistently and see what we get out of them. The problem you have with them when they both turned up, they both not played any football at all. Either if they have, it was under 23 work, which is not the performance you want him to have when you're just going to go straight into the championship. Norris said that Rose had 2 years remaining. That's false. I don't know. I thought you're saying that about Norris saying he got 2 years remaining. That they might think he had 2 years remaining, but if he's only got a year remaining, we've got to get the most out of him that best year, because at the end of the day, Rhodes is still a good player if he can play to his strength. The problem is Carlos never played to his strengths. Josh didn't even give him a look in. We don't. The last couple of seasons, we've not played to players' strengths at all. And in terms of some of the players we brought in, we have to start doing that now. Glenmuir Whelan on a year deal with a coaching role. Yeah, that would be a good fit. That would work. That would work for me because that would be perfect for having another coach as well. Someone who knows the club and is a little bit. I think we can agree Whelan's a little bit of a club legend, can't we? So yeah, it's an interesting one there. It's the thing you got is I'm going from what Bruce has said when he came in, which was he wants to bring the age of the squad down. Now, we have released a lot of players who were hitting that these are too old to start playing kind of thing. We have released a lot. I can still see us getting rid of a couple more. Now, the situation you've got is that you're saying with Rose has a good injury record. He does have a good injury record, but his injury record isn't as bad as other players. You've got to remember, Rhodes was some of the goals Rose scored for Middlesbrough was the reason Middlesbrough went up. The goals he scored for Huddersfield at the time were superb. And I know we're talking a long time ago, but at the same time, some of the goals he scored at Norwich, if Pukki wasn't the deal of the season for Norwich, if they weren't relying on him, they did have the option of bringing Rhodes on and helping getting goals, helping doing stuff. Before Pukki went on his run, Rhodes was the one that was actually playing better than him at one point. And then Pukki hit his stride. So it's an interesting one in that. You got down in one of those ones, I think he's a little bit too old. And I don't want to know what his wages would be. His wages would be ridiculous. There's a lot. The thing is, we're looking at Downing, we're looking at Whelan, we're looking at all these kind of players. There's a lot of young players who have just been released who are really good as well. There's a lot of young players who Bruce might be able to turn around instead of going for, say, a Glenn Whelan or Stuart Downing. Go, right, you're this age, you didn't make it at this club. You didn't say it's someone from Manchester United. You didn't make it at Manchester United. You didn't do that well. I'm going to give you 13 football. You're going to show what you can do. But if someone else comes in, you've got to fight for that place. So it's that kind of situation at the minute. You don't know at the minute, because at the end of the day, it's a strange one when it comes to us signing people, because we don't know what Bruce is looking at bringing in. Would anyone like to see Liam Clark back at the club? He was on fire at the bump before they shipped him out. Who do you get rid of then? Who do you get rid of? Because you're bringing in another striker. Bruce came in and said we have too many strikers. With Matthias going, because he classed him technically as a striker, we still got 6. No, that's right. Fletcher, Winnall, Newhugh, Fortieri, Rhodes. Okay, 5. Sorry, you bring in thingy. It's another one. Oh, if Rhodes or Fortieri go, maybe I can see that. But it's if he wants to come. Bruce has got some brilliant connections within the game. He does have some great connections in the game. I think there's some players. There's going to be players who he already knows about, and he's ready to come in and get them and get things sorted. We already know this. He's going to bring in some players that we might know about. Adam Davis, I think Davis will sign a new deal at Barnsley, I'm afraid. I think he will sign a new deal. I'd love to have him back at Wednesday, being a former player, but I think he'll be back at Barnsley. They rate him too highly. High personal training even, sorry. If we haven't sold the ground, we should put match day tickets up. We should put match day tickets up. Match day tickets are already expensive for Wednesday. Putting match day tickets are not the way of doing it. The problem is, you put match day tickets up, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to sell more tickets, get more people in. But you either go 2 ways. You put tickets at 20 quid for adults and 10 for kids, and you fill the stadium, or you go the other way and make them really expensive and you get people who can't come in. It's a weird one. Coventry defender, sounds like it's all been agent talk. I'd love to have him because he looks like a little bit of a solid rock. Our centre-back situation all depends on if we get Hector, for me. If we don't get Hector, and I bet we're not just looking at Hector, but if we get Hector, we probably don't bring in another centre-back. If we don't get Hector, we're looking at another 2 centre-backs, possibly. Do you bet when I was in the park? Do you bet in the other fans we will have? I really hope so, because that's been the whole thing we've been doing for years. That was the whole point of ours in the park originally, was to have a bit of meet the players and show our new signings off. The last couple of seasons, we've not done that very well. I think it would be wise for them to do it and get it right. The other thing is, this time last year, we were talking about seeing shirts. I have not seen anything yet about Wednesday shirts this season, which kind of makes you a little bit concerned. We don't want the disaster of what happened last time. FFP is more important. Yeah, FFP is very important. I agree with you, but at the same time, every club got to deal with it. We're not going to be the only club dealing with that. And you're saying raise ticket prices, that doesn't automatically fix FFP. Where Wednesday is struggling when it comes to financing, in sense, is we are crap at commercializing. We are shit at that. It seems like we need to get better at getting sponsorship. We need someone who knows how to run the money side of the club. So doing the corporate stuff, bringing in different sponsorships, improving what's in the Wednesday store, that kind of thing. And the problem is we don't have that person yet. We will. I believe we will, but we need to sort that out. even if that's Chansiri hiring someone again, because he brought in Joe Palmer to do that, and then Joe Palmer only lasted a year. You got to remember there's lots of things that Chansiri's done already that hasn't worked, and some bits that did work. Maybe from me. Any youngster from Manchester United, I'd say yes to, but just remember, Ollie is trying to build something there for them, and he may tap into a youth team setup a little bit more than other managers because it's the Manchester United way. So be wary about any player from Manchester United until you know what they've spent and what they're going to get. New shirts out in December. Yeah, that is the Wednesday way. Yeah, make us wait for a hell of a long time. Hopefully, we sorted out the situation with everything. Stuart Finley, I would love to see at the club. I know we are definitely in for him. I don't know if any talks had taken place. I think he'd be a really good signing, to be honest with you. Another centre-back. Thing is, I still think we're going to be having a couple of centre-backs coming in. I don't have a season ticket. No, I cannot afford a season ticket. I haven't been able to for a while. I get to go to games which I can go to, and my situation is I have a illness called it's non-epileptic disorder, but sometimes I can't justify spending the money on a ticket because I may not be able to. Yeah, I get a disability, mate, but I've got a wife, a young kid. And it's one of those one for me, like there's also bits of it like if I have a fit at a game, that could be me out for the entire of the game. I might miss it. That's my situation. If I have a fit of a game, I might miss the entire game because I just don't feel very well. Once I've had one fit, I normally feel shit for the rest of the day or rest of the games. I try to get to as many games as I can. And it's something I do plan to look into a little bit more, but right now, financially, it's not really ideal for me yet. Yeah, I feel sorry for Bolton as well. Bolton's a weird one at the moment because Bolton's one of those clubs that's just been mismanaged from the moment they got sold. But it is one of those situations where teams who get bought by certain owners don't get looked after. Thankfully, so far, touch wood, we're getting looked over. We're getting managed well by Chansiri. People say he's done things wrong, and he put his hand up and said he had done things wrong. But at the same time, we've got to own that doing well. Would like to see this as a monthly, maybe by month, so we can have a light discussion during the season, so we can chat about. Yep, I'm willing to do that. That is something I'd love to. I'd love to do that. That would be something I'm willing to do. It's also would be good to do that during the international breaks because international breaks I always find a bit worrying knowing what to do next. So yeah, I could definitely do. We could probably do one start of the month and end of the month kind of thing if we did that. I do stream games. Yes, I do. I've got a friend who helps me out in America. Fantastic. Hang on, let me just have a look at something. So I just read something. Has anyone seen anything about that German lad we were looking at? Because that's gone quiet. I am on PS4, Sheffield Wednesday fan. I haven't seen anything about that German lad yet. I think it's gone a bit quiet. He could be on. Yeah, he's on holidays, like we said earlier. I play a lot of FIFA. I've been trying to play a lot of racing games recently. Now and again, Call of Duty when I can be bothered. I don't play as much as I used to. haven't played the latter. Is that any good? I haven't played that. I know Latter 2 coming out soon, so I should really try it. I really want to try that Day Gone soon as well. I'm interested. Thank you, Callum. I'm interested to see what Bruce brings in, and I'm more interested to see who Bruce lets go, who he wants to sell more than anything. For me, Bruce, seeing what Bruce wants to sell will tell you a lot more than who Bruce wants to bring in. For me personally, because it'll tell you where he's looking, what he's looking to improve, where does he want to improve, kind of thing. I think we got to see who we might get money for, because if we got rid of the likes of, say, Adam Reach, Portieri, and granted, these are players I want to keep, bear in mind. If we got rid of them, it would give him a fair bit of cash to spend. Winnow, for Palapousi, or go Van Aken? Well, I think you're right about Winnow. He's not had a sniff yet. And to be fair, I'm not 100% sure Bruce saw enough of him to take his chance when he had that opportunity to. Fox and Palapousi, I think, got better since Bruce had come in. I think he's actually become a lot better player. I've really liked him since he started. Fox is a weird one because on some games he can be fantastic going forward, but sometimes lack going back. He don't track back well considering either defender, so he makes silly mistakes. Verdict's out on Van Aken because I think he's a player Bruce wouldn't mind seeing. He fits his bill in terms of the centre back because he's tall. Bannon keeping or what? Heard Bannon all day. Oh, Bannon all day. He's a bit of a loyalty with Bannon. At the same time, you don't sign was it a 2-year contract? Middle of last season. I think Bannon all day. The only team he probably would go for if he could actually go would be either Celtic, because he's a boyhood Celtic fan. Maybe Villa, but I think Villa might look for someone else. And bear in mind, I'm saying this as a person who loves Bannon, likes him, but might find but I'm saying that they'll look for someone with better quality than Bannon for the Premiership, because Bannon's done Premiership, but not in a long time. Hendrick from Hull, 26. Now, I've got a Hull friend, and he know me. Has he been released? Marcus Hendricks. He'd be a bit of cat though. How long has he been there? Let's have a look. Been there 2-3 seasons. Maybe if wait a minute. Who was he a Bruce signing? He's a Bruce signing, isn't he? My way of doing it, I'm lucky I've got a friend in America that helps me out. And to be fair, finding the streams is harder these days because streaming sites have come down in what they do. I'll send you a message, Callum, and see what I can find for you. But what positions, ideally, do you want to see upgraded? Not we need upgrading, want upgrading. We all know what positions we need to get sorted, but what positions do you want to see a little bit more singing in? Because I think one of the first things Bruce came in and said was, we have too many players. He literally said, we have too many players. And to be fair, we knew that. We had about 48 sodding players on the books at one time, which is way too many players for a club, really. I think you're going to see a lot of youth team players get played. I think a youth team are going to have a nice little role to play in this. I think you'll see more of Penny. I'd like to see a little bit more Jack Dobbs. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Wingers, right? Yeah, I agree with that. We have no pace either side. Since Aaron's have gone, Matthias gone, Boyd. Do we actually have any wingers at the club apart from Penny? Literally in first team. Yeah, Baker looked good under Joss. He did have some moments where he looked really good. I liked Baker. Yeah, I'm actually thinking, I don't think we got any natural wingers at the club at the minute. Let me have a look. Team, first team. So, Alpha, Baker, Alexander, Jatley, Joe, Benny. So Jack Dobbs is technically a winger. I know Preston can do a bit of wing play. Right. I've got first team up right now. So, let me... There'll be no injury news because we don't know what's going on there. Oh, yeah. Thing is, he's a winger, but he tends to drift out playing number 10 role, doesn't he? At times. I'll do that for seeing a broken toenail. I don't think we'll have any injury news yet. Touch wood, I'm hoping we have no fucking injury news. I'm hoping everyone's going to come back fit. Well, they've got a choice. Come back fit or have a week's wages docked. So let's have a look here. So first team, Westwood if signed contract. Dawson, Wildsmith. Palmer, Van Aken, Fox, Thornley, Lees, Hutchinson, Baker, Iorfa, Hunt, Rice, Lee, and Penny is our defenders, which I'm pretty sure we played Penny more as an attacking winger, but hey. Midfield is Lee, Pelapusi, Bannon, Reach, Kirby, Preston, Shaw, and Dobbs. And the forwards are Rhodes, Fletcher, Winnell, Newhugh, Zhao. Well, that's all missing. Fortieri. There's a lot of youngsters there. Yeah, but that's 12 weeks ago. Yeah, he did have surgery, but it's still 12 weeks ago. And at the end of the day, we hadn't seen Van Aken for a long time. When you say injuries, kind of thing, I'm thinking new injuries, that kind of thing. Because we've not seen Van Aken in such a long time. So Van Aken, what the ones he's gonna have to impress the boss. He's gonna have to impress some of the things, some of the team to get in. Do you all think Zhao needs to step up more next year? No. I personally think I think Zhao could actually get pretty decent with getting there. Let's have a look. Winger, Pacey, Crucial. Zhao's hit and miss. Resign Wallace. Like, there's a couple of players who you would love to like clone and just have a clone version of that of players that we've had in the past. Wallace was decent. I like Wallace. Alex Lopez, I'd love to have back. I thought I was a bit gutted when we didn't sign him. Actually, I thought we could have actually got some out of him. Oh, what's this? Leeds United will soon be taken over by the owners of fucking PSG. Oh, fuck off. It's a weird one because João Day can be really good, but we have too many players who are not consistent. There's not enough consistencies in players. It was money. The reason we never signed Lopez, it was money. We spent a lot beforehand, and I think we were having to pay transfer fees. But again, why didn't we sign Vicencio when we had him? It was money. I thought Vicencio was fantastic. It's another situation where he's had another solid centre back at the back, and we're not too sure if we're going to get him back because we loaned him. That'll be good. I'll take Morgan Gibbs. He looked pretty decent. I think you look at what we're looking at, what Bruce is looking to do. Let's see what happens with Bruce when he brings in the players he brings in. But it says a lot about what Bruce has done so far with. It was literally 6 hours after the game, he had his retain list and his release list already done. He already knew what he wanted. He knew what he wanted to do. So that says a lot about what Bruce is about. He's already turned around and said, nope, you're not what I need. You might have been good for the club, but I need you to move on. I think if we can get Kieran Lee back to being the old Kieran Lee, and that's a big if, that would be fantastic. But I have a funny feeling Kieran Lee is going to be on a pay-as-you-play or a 6-month deal to prove his fitness and then go from there. Yeah, they did build quite a good partnership, but again, it's that whole situation again where we've literally signed another centre back and then we're having to play this waiting game to see what happens. Because we're still not 100% sure if Chelsea are going to be able to let him go. There you go. Yep. We had this whole situation of loaning players, making them good for their old team, and then having them too good for us to come back. We've done that so many times in the past. We have so many times in the past had a loan player, he'd come to us, had a fantastic spell, go back to his home club, either does really well for his current club, or he go back and he gets sold because we've made him look good in the shop window. One of the other players you can class in that, if you go Lopez, Vicencio, Hector, you could also say that about bloody Bah when we have him. Again, centre back. Vicencio's also had I don't think Vicencio would leave Portugal now, even wife or girlfriend had just had a baby. So I think they'll want to stay in Portugal if they can. So that's one of the ones I can't see that one. João can be unplayable at times, but the gameplay just don't give a shit. You can see when he throws his hands in the air, he runs and he got a drop on. The times where you can tell where he just doesn't care. It will be very interesting to see what player come back fit and what player don't. Because I can tell you now, if some players don't come back fit, they're going to know about it in the back pocket, and they're going to know about it when Bruce puts them through the drills. Exactly. We've always had this situation ever since. We were fine when we got Leuven's in because he was solid until he started to lose that pace. But we've already had this issue at the back. We've had this problem at the back that we don't tend to sign well in terms of keeping players. At the end of the day, when we got Tom Lee from Leeds, that was a good bit of business by us. That was smart. But then we never went and tried to replace Leuven's properly like we should have done. Like when Karloff was in, when he said, oh, we've looked at 200 centre-backs and we bring in Van Aken. Granted, first couple of games, Van Aken looked solid. He looked really good. And then you start seeing little mistakes. And then he got injured. Yeah, I've seen a couple. I've seen a couple at Matthias's as a pastry shop that he got. His authentic Portuguese desserts. They all go there. Sasso was quality. And I think I read somewhere earlier that Sasso, and another centre back, can't fault it. Like I said, centre back, we don't seem to keep them at all. Sasso, I'm pretty sure, got in like the Portuguese team of the year. Reader was good, but again, we had Reader. Then we went for a period of not replacing them. We didn't replace them well. We've had the thing where we've never been able to sign things. Oh, did you? Oh, nice. 2 years ago, bloody hell. What colour was my hair back then? But it'll be interesting to see. We need to get the centre-back situation sorted. Having these 3 signed new deals will be fantastic. Hopefully they get done soon. If you follow some of the players on Instagram, you can tell the ones that are putting a lot of work in. If you look at Palmer's been on holiday in Dubai, and when he's putting his training videos up, he's working his socks off. I know Lazar is massively in training. I know Lazar's not ours, but I'm going on potential targets. Aaron's, you've seen bits of because he did that whole thing, and he has been in training in the gym. Hunt, I'd love to come back. But that was a decision we had to make. I think that was the case. We needed to massively balance the books in that one. I think that was a situation we needed to balance the books for that little period, and that's what we did. Hunt was good. I liked Hunt. Obviously, he's still really good friends with a lot of the players because he's they all went on holiday again. As you noticed, they all went to bloody America. Does your wife or kid ever do videos with you? No. My wife has in the past, but not recently, and my kid's only 1 year old, so no. On that one, if she gets older and she wants to do it, then fine. But I'm not gonna stick in front of the camera. That's not fair. You're saying to stand to free transfer? Yeah, but it depends if we want him. Depends if it's a. Hang on, Dos Santos. Let's have a look. Let's check his age. He's 30. He's 30 and he's been playing at LA Galaxies, where he's had his best goal scoring record ever. And that concern, he was at Valencia for 3 years and only got 12 goals. He's at LA Galaxy and he's had 77 appearances and 26 goals. I don't know. It's players who have been in MLS and then thinking about getting, it's one of those ones you always have that situation. Leeds Lees is one of the ones where I don't see him as a leader. I think having the captain's armband wasn't a good thing for Lees. I thought Lees could have done with yeah, Lee could have done with a bit better thing. God, that's a name from the fight. John Aston Barner. Bloody hell. Remember him. George Hurst had become a nobody. George Hurst made his bed and he picked it. If you want his dad to get involved with it all, he had the chance. He could have had the deal that was on the table originally, gone out on loan, proved what he was worth, and didn't want to. Who surprised you the most out of the retained list? Hooper. I was surprised we let Hooper go. I thought he would at least had another year deal. I was kind of shocked that we let Matthias go. I thought Matthias might have had another little bit of a chance. Okay, mate. See you in a bit. God, I can't stand that shit. Yeah, Hooper was, but I think Hooper's going to go back up to Scotland. He's making all the signs that he might be going back to. Hooper will either go back to Celtic. Yeah, where's that? No. He's either going to go back to Celtic, or he's going to go to Nottingham Forest, I think. Nope, I don't watch Love Island. So, but I'm going to call the stream here because I have to go walk my dog. Like I said, we'll try and yeah. We'll try when it comes close to the season. All right, good for you, Copper. Nice one. We will try and do more of these when it comes to close to the season, and we'll go from there. At the end of the day, I'm going to try and work on stuff. I'm going to try and get things a little bit better going. I'm going to try and get things a little bit more. Wow, you've got some serious issues, mate. Go on, bugger off. You're on a timeout. But yeah, I will see you in the next one, and everyone take care.